So right now the show is untitled. But before we started the show, I did a bunch of focus groups, and I asked women, what would they be looking for in a show like this? And even if a show like this would be relevant to their lives. And I talked to young women that were high school and college aged, and women in their 20s and women in their 30s. And I found that women were actually more excited about a show like this than the men were. Because to a man, it kind of challenges them. But here's what's interesting. If I got a man by himself, he said, oh yeah, dude, I would totally watch that show. But if a man was in a room with another man, they were like, yeah, I don't know. But that's why we need to make the show. The women, especially college-age women, they felt it was so important to create a new generation of role models for the men that are their age, because they say that look, college assaults and sexual assaults are up like 50, 60, 70% year after year. Young men don't know what to do with the things that they're feeling, and they're becoming more aggressive. They're taking things out on these young women. They're not asking for consent. All kinds of things are happening with this younger generation. Historically, we haven't had a lot of male role models. I mean, can you name like 5 or 6 guys that, my generation grew up with that we could look at and say, like, those were good men? Like, those were faithful men, those were honorable men? There weren't a lot. Our role models are our pro athletes who make hundreds of millions of dollars. But they constantly let us down. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as they come back and they say, hey, I screwed up, because I think part of being a man is also redemption and like opening up and talking about your mistakes and learning from them. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like asking for directions. Why can't we just do that? Does it make us less of a man if we ask for directions or say we don't know where we're going? Does it make us less of a man if we make a mistake and then publicly say, I made a mistake? There's nothing wrong with that. And what I found was that women are really excited to have men open up and men be a part of the conversation. And what I really believe with all my heart is that if men could make the journey from their head to their heart, then I think a lot of our problems would be solved. I think that it would just kind of change the direction that we're going, both in the world and culturally. And yeah, I just think that's really important.